some way, right?
I guess so. You're the one in charge, man. I'm just your employee.
Hold on, let me just make sure. I know I started it, but
It's all good.
We're all good. All right, AirPods, cool. All right, yeah. I mean, we're good.
Cool.
No
Let's do
echoes,
it.
which is dope.
Perfect. All right, let's roll. Elevation Nation. Today, tonight, as Parker always says, we have a special treat for you all. Not only a new member of Elevation Nation, but actually our partner in our new streetwear apparel that we will be rolling out here in the coming weeks. An amazing young woman with an incredible story. We are so honored to have her on the podcast this evening. Balim Tezel, founder of NUS, which is going to be our partner. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Our new friend, our new sister, welcome to Elevation Nation. We are so excited to share your story today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Okay, now Elevation Nation. Before we get into everything, when the conversation, Balim, we're pumped to have you. But we were giving Sam some crap because he's drinking a venti cold brew coffee, which he says, but I'm debating that it looks like milk. Why, Sam? Why don't you think that's coffee? Like, why do you think that's milk? Coffee? Like, dude, that's not coffee by any means.
So I asked for a splash of cream in my coffee, and she put in a lot. What am I going to do? Send it back? I'm not rude.
I'm surprised
Friday.
you even asked for cream, like in general.
I did. I asked for a little bit of cream. If we're going to
Like
talk...
a little bit.
Okay, I asked for a lot of bit of cream. It says light cream. I'm literally going to prove it. Light cream.
Light cream,
So
okay.
everyone needs to stop giving me shit because I can dish this right back to Parker. Parker's like, oh, I love coffee. I'm a coffee snob. And, like, Parker doesn't even grind his own beans when he makes coffee. So...
that is completely false.
don't
That
try to
is
cover
just
it up now.
Completely false. I can pull out my grinder and pull it out.
Oh, I know you have
Not-
one, but I know you
Not
don't
my,
use it.
I'm not even gonna go there. But
Okay.
I mean,
We'll talk coffee in a different episode.
I'm
just saying.
disappointed in you, Sam. Even to start this podcast off. Wow. All right. Screw coffee. Balim, what's going on? We are pumped to have you. I know we've had, a couple conversations before, but we haven't really got into a deep conversation, and we get into deep conversations on Elevation Nation, and I hope you're up for it. We've done a good amount of these, over 195 of these actually. So I guess we're vets at the deep conversation. So I don't want to put you on the spot, but I don't know how many people in Elevation Nation even know who you are. So we'd like to kick it off with an elevator pitch. We would love to hear, a little bit about you, where you come from, all that type of stuff.
Okay. Can it be longer than an elevator pitch, though? Okay,
It could
cool.
be whatever you want it to be.
Okay. So I'm from Turkey originally. My family's still home. I miss it so much. But I came here for college. I went to Northwestern. I actually saw that you guys had a couple Northwestern people before, which is cool. But yeah, after Chicago, I graduated 2019. I moved to New York because I love New York. And then I was working for like popsugar. It's like a publishing company. And then I quit. And then COVID happened because they couldn't sponsor me, whatever. There were a lot of details, but then COVID happened. And then I was kind of alone in my New York apartment. Just what am I going to do? Because I can't go home. Still, this has been a problem. And then I started my brand.
You just did a quick summary of a lot of the things we were going to talk about on the podcast. So that's a hint, which is fine, and we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But
I'm
that's
excited.
Just
kind of who I am right now, I would say. I'm Turkish. I live here. And that's my whole thing for the last 3 years because I miss home a lot. So I talk about it a lot. And I'm sure my friends are bored of it at this point, but that's all I do.
Listen, home is important. Family is important.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that whole story. But I'm really excited that we got connected with you from our amazing friend from Seeing Other People on Done. And she's fantastic, and she's part of Elevation Nation. And now you're going to be part of Elevation Nation and our partner in crime. So this is really special for us. We're excited to share your story, and thank you for that elevator pitch. I want to throw it back a little bit to Baby Balim. when you were little, when you were a kid growing up, what did you want to be? What was always the dream?
I wanted to work for NUS and do like fashion reporting. I wanted to work with Joan Rivers, but then she died on me. But I wanted to work
Oh,
with
nice.
um, I wanted to work with her and like I don't know, do like fashion police and all that stuff. And then like I didn't have any idea of any like visa situations. Like I was so little, but I always had an interest in fashion. Like my mom always says that I used to change like outfits 5 times a day, and I would not listen to anyone. And I would just be like, "This is what I'm wearing," and it would look ridiculous, but I did it anyways. So I always wanted to do that, but I didn't think I would have my own brand. I wanted to be on the reporting side of it, I think.
Hmm.
And then I wanted to be an actress at some point, but that also didn't work out, clearly. Um, but yeah, but I've
Well,
always
there's
wanted to come here.
okay. So you always were coming to the States. That was always
Yeah,
in the cards, regardless if it was in fashion, acting, or
yeah.
school
I
or
don't know
whatnot.
why, but so my uncle actually moved here. And he used to live in Chicago. Before then, he lived in San Fran. So like he lived a lot of places. And I think maybe because of that, I've always wanted to like come here, and we have family friends who tell us like you were 7 years old when we met you and you were like, I'm gonna go to the States for college. And I don't remember that, but apparently I was like very much stubborn and was knew what I wanted. And then I came here for college.
All right.
So
Okay. Question. Right off
yeah.
the bat, it's like top of mind. All right. So you had this perception of the United States before you
Yeah.
come over, right? And I don't know if you had been before you'd gone to college. So you have this perception. I want you to talk through what that perception of the United States was before you got to college, and then like where
Yeah.
you're at now, and like were you totally off?
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought so. My mom actually, when I was like crazy about going here, she was like, "Honey, like United States is not just about like shopping and going to Disneyland. There are so many problems there. Like, I don't know if you know what you want." And I was like, "That's what I want, Mom. Like, you're exaggerating it." So I thought it was going to be like, oh my God, dreams come true. Like, just come here. This is the country that like you can do whatever you want. And it's so amazing. Like, I didn't know about all the problems here, like the racism, the extent to it. Like, I didn't know all those issues or the extent to it. So in my head, this was like dream. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to be so free and I can do whatever I want. But then I got here and I was like, holy shit, like, what is going on? Where am I? And like, I've also experienced so many things from people that like no one knows what Turkey is. No one, so many people that I met, they asked me if we have like toilet paper. I've been asked that if we have toilets, like if I've ever seen, and that's like, I know some people don't know about it, but they ask questions in a respectful way. And then some people just ask me like the stupidest shit, and they'll just say it to like belittle me. So I never thought I would experience that stuff. The gun violence really scares me. Like I didn't know the extent to that. So a lot of things changed in my mind. So now I'm like, I mean, I'm still here, so I still like it, but I didn't really know the
Yeah.
extent to it.
It's
I had
interesting,
no
right? Like
idea. Yeah.
we have these dreams. Obviously, this is different, but similar. Of you had this dream of the U.S. And a lot of the times, Parker and I talk about on Elevation Nation a lot, like the dreams we had in high school and college of what like the real world was like, right? And kind of similar in that sense of you think of this like end goal or destination. So for us, the
Yeah.
real world, and you, the U.S. is like this amazing place that dreams happen, and it's going to be perfect, and it's rainbows and sunshine and all that stuff. But it's never really like that. And
No.
it's kind of scary when your dreams, like you've painted them and like gone over these scenarios in your mind and dreamt about them for so many years. And when it doesn't match up to that, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. And like I had a lot of visa, like I didn't know it was really hard to come here legally or like stay here after college. So like so many of my friends who are from Turkey, because we have a lot of like a big Turkish community in Northwestern. We had it. I don't know about now, but they all did engineering or econ, and I was the only one who was doing journalism. Like I literally was the only journalism student who was Turkish, and that doesn't because they did that so they could have a bigger chance of staying. I didn't think of that, and my parents were I'm so lucky. Like I have a great family, and I had the support from them, and I still do. Like so they like mentally and just everything, they just helped me. And my parents were like, you should do what you want to do. You shouldn't just do something to be able to stay there. Do like pick a major that you're gonna love. So I was the only one, but now I had moments now, like when I look back at it, I'm like, was I an idiot? Like maybe I should have done a different thing so I could have stayed. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that I think about.
I mean,
I'm still
obviously,
here. I stay.
you're still here,
Yeah.
but you also got a journalism degree from one of the top journalism schools in the entire world. That will take you anywhere, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll always have that, which is super cool. But now you're not even using it.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
not even
you
doing
are. You are. I'm not saying that you're just not, because I feel like we always tie like our major and what we study to like the job that we have. But I always think like I studied entrepreneurship as my minor, but I'm a government consultant, right? My entrepreneurship studies helps my interests too. And I think that's really cool when people go to school too and they study things that they're interested in rather than the thing that, well, not in your case, will get you paid, but, you know, in Sam and my case will help us, you know, start our podcast, which would then get us to a business. So let's talk about that. You graduate college, you work at popsugar, and then you're like, I'm going to leave and start my own thing. You know, things are interesting. Or how did it work? Yeah, like, well, what happened? Break it down. Let's get real here.
I didn't really decide to leave. I just needed a visa, and then they basically told me they would possibly give it to me, and then they did it. They were like, "Just kidding, like we can't." And for you to get a work visa, I don't know how much you guys know, but you need a company to sponsor you. So I was lucky enough that I found another company, and I started working for them. But then I had this idea of a brand because then COVID happened, and I was like, okay, this is kind of stressful. I'm alone here. Like I felt really out of place. Like I just didn't have family, and everyone was with their families. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't want to get depressed. Like I was really sad, and I'm really close with my family, and I was really scared. And after that, I was also seeing people buy like all these streetwear, like apparel stuff, and I was like, okay, why are they paying like $350 for something that's not even high quality? Like, why are these things not accessible? People should be able to get the high quality product without the premium. So that's what my idea was. And then I started working and focusing on that. And then I was like, wait, I should do this. So that's how, because I liked it. So that's how we launched like last year. But it took me a while to get there, and it wasn't even still my idea to do it, kind of. Like it was my idea, but it kind of just happened because I was still focused on like making money and getting like a visa more than doing what I wanted to do. And then I decided, wait, I can actually do this and fix all my problems and actually enjoy it.
I mean, let's talk for a minute about the visa process, right? And so going back, you're at Northwestern, a dream college experience. I am from Chicago, so I love Evanston, and it's a cool place. And we get a job after school. You think that they're going to sponsor you, and they kind of yank the rug out from under you, not on purpose, but it's complex. And so I'll give a quick shout out to one of our loyal listeners. I have a really good friend, Parker's friend too, Josiah Sannon, who is from Burkina Faso, Africa, and came over here when he was young. And when he got out of his student visa, he also had trouble getting sponsorship from Google where he was working and had to go back, and now is here again getting his master's. But I know firsthand, talking to him, some of the complexities that happen, especially in certain administrations politically, in terms of getting visas in certain times. And so I fully empathize with that process. I know, like, for us who are privileged enough to be in the United States and have our citizenship and our ability to travel across borders with, as Josiah said it to me, and I never thought about it, he's like, dude, you have a golden passport. like every country loves you, accepts you, and wants you to come in and spend money. He's like, I don't have that. And so that really opened my eyes. And I know that you went through a similar thing. And so I just want to say, like, we're proud of you for pushing through that, because that is not easy. And it's scary, especially you were in COVID, your family wasn't here, and you were dealing with that. Like, can we talk for a minute? I know, like, not to get too deep, but you said, like, it was depressing. And I think COVID brought a lot of dark emotions for many of us. How did you deal with some of that confusion, that depression, and that stress? Like, what was that like?
Not that good. Like at some point, I was like drinking so much. I mean, I wasn't like drinking, but I was like having wine every night, like, which I think everyone was, but still, like, that's not my normal. And then I was crying. Actually, I didn't cry at all for like a long time, because I think I was so numb to it. Like, I was just trying to, because if you let it go, like, I was gonna just probably like get depressed and stuff. So it's like survival for me. That was survival. So I became like kind of numb to everything. So I just like didn't feel like, even with the pop sugar thing. I mean, I felt, but I wouldn't cry or anything. And I'm a very emotional person. So like, normally if something bothers me, the healthy thing to, or like not bothers me, but if I'm upset about something, the healthy thing to do is to let it out and like cry or talk to people about it. I just like remember, and my friend actually, Alana's roommate, Jess, that's how I met them. I worked with them at Pop Sugar. And she, after I learned that I couldn't stay at Pop Sugar, I was like so stressed. And she was like, Balim, you need to cry. Like, you didn't even cry. You just said, okay, what am I going to do now? I need to figure out something. So I like didn't cry for maybe 2 years or something. Like, it was crazy for me because I normally cry once a week. So I don't know if I handled it well. I think I need to like go to therapy because I have like a lot of bottled up emotions from that time, and still now, because I still can't go home. So I've been through all that, and then I lost a couple people during COVID. So I don't know if I'm handling it well, but I'm doing a better job now, and I kind of learned how to live with that. And I also now have like I have my friends, I have like amazing friends and an amazing support system. So I've always had that, but I think I've just had to like kind of learn. But at first, when it started in COVID, like I was just drinking. Like, I was just alone. Like, I would just do, I don't know, clean up all the time. Like, I was kind of, I don't know if that was healthy, but I did a lot of like drinking and cleaning and just trying to figure out what I should do.
I think, first of all, thank you for being vulnerable and opening up. I think, and then second of all, it's like everyone like went through like their own experience with COVID and whatnot. And, you know, everyone had their unique situation, but I think it was really interesting to hear how you talk through, like, you're someone who typically cries, you're bottled up in emotion. And during that period, you just weren't. And you realized that you needed to do that. You realized that you were not someone who's going to drink every night, drink wine every night. You know, you had all these emotions, you needed to let out a cry. And then also you needed to surround yourself with people who want the best for you and can support you through things like this and give you good advice when, you know, maybe good advice is needed. And I think that's not always like, you know, something you can go and like look up on the internet. What should I do when I feel sad? You know, well, you should cry, be surrounded with good people, and minimize your alcohol intake or whatever. Like, and I think that takes a lot of self-awareness to figure out for yourself. So I commend you to be able to do that.
I'm also like not a big drinker, or like I never used to. So I would say like in COVID, like it's also when I say I drank like a glass or two a night, but it's still not normal for me. And I would say that like I never used to, before COVID, I kind of never used to drink. Like, I'm not a sad drinker. Like, I will drink with my friends. I will have fun, all that. But like, I don't do any type of stuff like that when I'm upset about something, because I always like to like talk about or like think to myself and let it out and like fix it, or just kind of dwell in it and see what is going on. But I'm not like a sad drinker. So that's why I think when I realized that a couple months into COVID, I was like, okay, this is not normal. Like, why am I drinking because I'm bored? Like, but my friends were doing the same thing. Like, we would just be like, oh, I've been drinking every day this week because everyone was just bored, I think. And we didn't know what to do. And it was scary timing. And also, like, not having your family next to you was kind of hard for me. But once in a couple months, like, I realized that I was just like, okay, what should I do? So I started just like taking more walks outside, like just doing stuff that kind of filled in my day. So I wasn't just sitting there being like, what am I going to do? I finished all these movies. So I think it's just about realizing, like, I don't know. I'm very self-aware. Like, I've always been that way since I was little. And I was kind of like when I was little, I was kind of like a know-it-all. So I would just like go sit with my mom and her friends instead of playing with my friends. Like, I just want people to like tell me everything. Like, what is going on? I want to know about all the gossip. But now it kind of, I don't know. Now I'm not like that. Like, I'm not like I know it all, but I am always been.
You're still self-aware.
I've always been self-aware.
So let's talk about self-awareness for a minute. And I'm so glad you brought that up because Parker and I have kind of a core principle to Elevation Nation, and you were kind enough to get vulnerable with us, so we'll get vulnerable with you for a minute. When I graduated from college and moved to New York, my first few months were absolutely miserable, and I was like, is this what adulthood is like? Is this what the real world is like? Because this sucks. And so that's what inspired Elevation Nation for Parker and myself, because we reached out to each other and realized we were both going through this and that a lot of young people were going through these struggles. And so we took a step back and started to think about what was like the missing piece that was making us feel this way. And we boiled it down to this concept that we call mental fortitude, which essentially has three parts. The first part is self-awareness, right? Knowing who you are, vision, knowing where you want to go, and then accountability for how to get there. And so self-awareness, we think, is so important and core to figuring out your 20s, and being a productive member of Elevation Nation is knowing who you are. And so I think it's so great that you brought that up, and we're hitting on that. Yeah.
I also think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, all you. Go for it.
I was going to say, like, I learned also a lot. So after COVID, like, once, you know how everything started opening up, like it was summer or something. So I came, like, then I started making new friends. So I made actually a lot of friends at that, like, because I like had a friend who was like, okay, I know you're alone. So like, she was like, I know you're lonely. We all went and saw our families. You couldn't. So I know you're sad. I will, if we do like little gatherings, like it wasn't like big things, but she was like, I will take you. So she actually helped me so much. And I always tell her that. And then I met a lot of new people. So I think it was also a good thing for me because I found my people. Like, my college friends are great, but it's different, I would say. Like, I don't see them as much. Some of them I see, but like friendships change. So I made my peace with that, and I made new friends, and that also helps me. And then I met my boyfriend. Like, it just helps me. And then once, honestly, when I met my boyfriend and like all this, then I started feeling emotions again and like letting go of the craziness, kind of. And like, I wasn't just like a crazy stone person who couldn't like laugh or cry. But I would say that like it took me a while. Like, it wasn't, yeah, I didn't drink or anything, but like for me to let go and like start crying and feeling again and like get out of that survival mode took me a while, I would say.
I think I think, listen, crying is, I feel like I'm a crier. I'm definitely a crier, but usually like when something I'm mad about or something, or I'm upset about something, I don't necessarily cry. I probably go for like a run or something, and I like unleash that way and whatnot. But I think you brought up a really interesting like point about like just growing up in general. I mean, this podcast is all about growing up and life in your 20s, right? And like, I think you made a really interesting point about relationships and how your friends have like changed over time. And I think as you get older, like, Sam and I are 27, right? and we've been out of school now for a while. And like in college, you got your peeps, your homies, the people you live with for the first time away from your parents, right? You're going through it all with them. Like a lot of first experiences, you're going out together, you're going to class together, you're walking in the streets of college town at 4 a.m. together, like doing all these different things, right? And like you grow these really nice, like intimate bonds with them. But then, you know, over time, you graduate and you all go different places. You know, are best friends with someone and then they go somewhere. And then it just like, there's people that move all the way, you know, all over the place. And, you know, I really think like as you get older and older, it sometimes can be really difficult because you look at a friend that you had who you're so close with, but you don't live together and you don't talk to them as often. But when you're together in person, it's like, wow, it's like nothing has ever changed, but it's different. Yeah. Something has happened here, you know? And I think it's a little like interesting that as we grow up, like you kind of got to let go of some of those relationships in some way. Not saying that you're not friends with them. It's just like the commitment to that because you owe it to yourself.
Yeah. And that's what I realized, I think, and especially during COVID too, like everyone went through it in their own way, but I like always kind of tried to like check in on my friends as much as I could. And like if I didn't get that back, I kind of was like bitter about it. I was just like, look, like I am away from and I'm not saying that like I had it harder, but like everyone had a really hard situation at that point. And I just was like, look, like I still make an effort to check in on you and you never text me if I don't text you. So like, or call me, like you never check in on me. So that made me kind of realize also like COVID was a really growth mode for me. But I realized a lot of things about my life. And that also made me realize like, okay, like friendships, any type of relationship is a two-way street. If you are not willing to give that to me, I don't have the energy at this point to try even harder to get that from you. So I think that's also what made me realize, like, I guess I became really self-aware in COVID. I wasn't like that before. But yeah.
Well, I now think like, are there universal like rules to like friendship? Like, are your rules of friendship the same, or principles that Sam abides by, or me? Like, you know, just because I'm reaching out to someone and saying, hey, like, how are you doing? Do I expect that they're going to reach back out? And if they don't, are they a bad friend because they're not? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's because like girls and guys are like, I don't know if it's different, but it might be because I actually had this conversation with my boyfriend and he was like, oh, I don't care about that. Like, he was just like, I sometimes won't text someone for years and like, then we'll just catch up. And for me, I think it was just very specific to COVID. Like now, if someone doesn't text me, I don't care. I'll just text them and I'll bother them. I'm a double texter. I'll text you 10 times before you answer me. I don't
Love
care.
That. Love that.
But like, I think during COVID, I needed that support and I gave that support, but I never got it back from some people. So I think that was more of a thing for me. I don't care if you text me. I will text you. I will call you.
It's like an effort thing, right? Yeah. Like if someone gets you a birthday gift, like, are you going to give them a birthday gift back? Like if they called you, are you going to return the call back? Like obviously we're all busy and life happens.
Listen,
and like
I went through something, and I'm gonna talk about it now. I'm not gonna drop any names, but you know, I got my friend a birthday gift, a very nice birthday gift.
Did he?
Oh, I know. Sam and I always exchange. We're always very good. But I got, you know, I'd always gotten this friend a birthday gift, and my birthday came around a few weeks ago, and nothing came. And I'm like, huh. This is why I'm talking about the rules, because it's like we're really good friends, but I mean, yeah, you would expect to get something in return. But now I think like, do I think of him differently as a friend because he didn't reciprocate for the second year in a row? No, I mean, just I'm bringing this up. I mean, it doesn't change anything, but it comes to the question. It's like, it's interesting. Should I get him a birthday gift next year is the big question.
No. I'm sorry, no.
Okay, all right. I respect that. I think Sam said the same thing.
Everyone shows their love and affection and friendship in different ways.
True.
And I also think that varies for even like myself from friend to friend, right? So like I have one friend, our friend Miles, who every year for his birthday, I buy him like a book because I used to make fun of him that he didn't read. And now I try to get him like a book that I know he's going to love. And the amazing part and why I feel good doing that, even though it's a cheap, like small gift, is because Miles is so appreciative of the thought that goes into whatever book I select for him, because there's a meaning and a reason behind why I got that to him. And so that's how I show my love to him. It's way harder to buy gifts for Parker because I talk to him every effing day and he is so hard to shop for. But I think I did a good job this year, Parker. And it ties it back to the beginning of our episode.
A coffee
That's why I said
subscription.
That. That's why I said that.
Like coffee subscription, but he says I don't grind my own beans, right? Back to the first thing. They come ungrinded. They come full, and I have my grinder that I have to use to grind them up.
That was the joke. I did that on purpose, bro, because before you were not. Yeah, you were. I asked your girlfriend. I asked to make sure. Sorry. All right. You're seeing this is friendship. This is behind the scenes of Elevation Nation and the true love we have for each other. But yeah, I think like
don't make me get up and get the grinder. I'll show you. Like
I believe you.
Pouring out right now.
I believe you. But friendship is interesting, especially as you get older. I think even like Balim, you mentioned making new friends, right? And so I used to live in New York. Parker's in New York. A lot of my friends were in New York. And then I moved to DC. And of course I had some amazing friends here, like my roommate and one of our guests, Matt McPartland, and I have some other amazing friends here. But it's weirder to make friends now. I don't know, like in college it's so easy. You're like in clubs and you're like in fraternities or sororities and clubs and classes, and so you naturally like bump into people. Where now I've felt, at least myself, I've struggled because I work from home. Like I work from my apartment. And so like naturally I don't bump in or like rub elbows with as many new people because I spend a lot of time like in this room. And so how do you go out and make new friends as an adult when you like don't go into an office anymore and you're like not meeting new people that way? I don't know. I've found it interesting, and it's something I've struggled with, just to be honest. It's been hard.
Every time I visit Sam, it feels like he's best friends with his doorman. Like, and he has a few. Like every time, like, all right, those are the friends that Sam has made. It's his doorman at his apartment building. They're like homies. I'm like, they're like shooting the shit. I'm like, dude, aren't you gonna let us up? Like.
It's true. I am friends with my doorman.
You need to. Well, I told you, like, the friends I made were kind of like after COVID, so I think everyone was just like so hungry for like connection. So everyone was like, "What is your name?" on the streets. So it was kind of easy. But I am also like, I'll just go up to someone. I have like no shame, so I'll just, if I want to talk to someone or if I'm somewhere, I'll just like talk. Like, I don't care. So if I'm
okay, so you're like me, how I was in college. Parker loves to tell this story, so I'm going to let him tell it. But, like, I also will go up to people and, like, fully introduce myself and say hello. I feel like I'm just not having any instances of that as much anymore, which is my own fault. I need to go, like, do things. But, Parker, do you want to tell how I met you?
I was just going to say, your expectations of what you want to be, like, I don't know if it's natural. Like,
go ahead, tell the story.
It might not rub off the right way, Sam, now.
Also, you can't just walk up. Like, that's not what I did.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me clarify. You
okay,
can't just
go ahead.
walk up to a random person on the street and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Okay,
I know.
Well,
I know.
I meant, like, I had a friend who brought me to her friend's apartment, and she would be like, "Go make friends." Like, she literally would push me and be like, "Go make friends. I'll see you in a couple hours." I was like, "Okay." So I would just go and walk into situations and like talk to people, but she already knew those people, so it wasn't like awkward. Also, I'm a woman, so I'm not gonna just like when I go up to people, they're not like, "What a creep!" Like, "Oh my god, who are you?" Like, go away. No, like when I go up, I'm like, "Hi" to the girls, and if they're not mean, it's fine. I'm not saying that you're a creep, but like it might be weird to just.
You implied it, which is fine, I guess. Whatever.
I have a story, and I thought Sam was a creep the first time I met him. So here's the story. The way, this is coming full circle. Wow, like just the way you've built this thing up. I mean, the first time I met Sam, I was a freshman in college, and I had an apartment. I didn't live in the dorms. I lived off campus with Miles, who we were just talking about, and we used to have people over because it was the place where you could do things that you couldn't do in the dorms, right? And Sam came along with this other dude we met. Walks in the door. He's like, "What's up, man? My name's Sam. Here, like, give me a hug." Like, giving me a hug. He's like, "I'm so excited to meet you. This is amazing." Like, and I'm like, "Wait, what? Who are you?" He's acting like he's known me since like I was 5 years old. Like, we're best friends already. And I was just like, he walks out like we later that night. I'm like, I'm never seeing this dude again. Like, he's never coming around. He's never going to do a fraternity. Like, I was interested in fraternity and all that. Next thing I know, he's coming around again the following week because we were friends with his friends. And then next thing you know, we're pledging, and now we're doing a podcast, and there's a lot of stories in between that. I just think it's really funny that you bring that up, Sam, because why don't you do that now?
Honestly, people probably thought I was the same as you because I would just show up when I was. So, now that I think about it.
I think it's good to be overwhelmingly nice to people you meet. First impressions are everything. I obviously scared Parker away, but little did he know he was going to be stuck with me for the rest of his life. So, sucks for you, Parker.
Now?
I think I still do it now. I actually, yesterday.
Does it more like smooth way?
No, I fucked up. Yeah. No, I'm still weird. Yesterday, they were like, we flew in some people from out of town into New York for a work meeting, and I literally had like emailed with these people twice, and they came to this meeting, and I was like, "It's so nice to meet you," and I like was giving people hugs, and then I remembered that like I was at work, and that's like super not professional, but I just like was so excited to see people because I'm like stuck in my apartment all damn day. So, yeah, I think that's just my personality.
Me too, though. I'm like, oh my
whatever.
God, hi.
Yeah. It just shows your personality. I think people like that, especially in the work setting. People think it's so formal. Oh, let's shake hands and meet for the first time. Nice to meet you, Sam, No. If you know each other and you're like, oh, let's get a hug. Why not? Who cares? If it's cool. Okay,
Human beings.
We've been this is a great little rant we went on. This is an
like
all-time little segment, I will say. But we got to talk more about your brand, your company, the thing that you're spending your whole entire, I guess, days now on, right? Doing. Yeah. And it's called NU, right? That's the company. NU.
And our latest partner, we're so hyped.
I know. So hyped. And it's spelled NUS, pronounced NU. The Instagram is dope. It looks like it's like all professional. Before we even talked to you, we were like, I was like a little nervous, honestly. Like, Sam, she's too legit. She's too legit for us, honestly. But talk about, where did the idea come from? What inspired it all?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, when I was in COVID, as I said, like I was just like seeing people buy all these things and pay a premium when they, in my opinion, shouldn't have. Because like everyone was losing their jobs. So I was like, I don't understand how you can justify paying this much for like streetwear, and they're not even that high quality, or they don't have anything special to them. So I kind of started thinking about that, and I always wanted to do something in fashion. So I was like, I'm so interested in this. And then my parents were like, why don't you do something about it if you're so upset with this? So it kind of became my new obsession because I had nothing else to do. So I was like, okay, I'll do this. So I just started working on it, and I wanted to give people like high quality products that are more minimalist, but are also unique in their own way. So we have a lot of designs that are like just very different. Like I don't know. And it comes from sometimes me, just inspiration comes from me or my friends, like or my family. They'll be like, oh, this could be cool. And then I'll just design it. But we launched so basically I started working with a company at first, and I was like, you guys can manufacture it. I can just focus on the design stuff. But then I'm more of like a kind of a like perfectionist and I like to see everything that they do. So I was like, I'm going to do this actually myself. So I just moved everything. So now I design them, produce them, like send them out, write little notes, like do all the marketing. So I do everything for it. And it's been a year. We just celebrated our year mark, birthday. Thank you. And it's really exciting because now I want to kind of bring up upcycled, like reworked materials, so it's more environment friendly and sustainable. I wanted to start producing some sweatsets and all that stuff in Turkey, so I can give back to my home. And then we're bringing like jewelry and stuff from Turkish artisans, which is going to be fun. So we have a lot of new stuff that's coming and new changes, like a lot of updates and stuff. And I'm really excited about how we're growing, but it's a lot of work.
Everything that you said is exciting for us as well, because you now are, again, not only part of Elevation Nation coming on the podcast and in our crew, but again, like our partner, and we're so excited to see your success, and we can't wait to have success with you and all your hard work. I think obviously Parker and I doing Elevation Nation as well, we know how people don't realize what being an entrepreneur is. They think it's like all sexy, going around meeting people, handing out business cards and like balling out, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes. And so we totally get where you're coming from, and I'm so excited for some of the stuff that's on the road for both of us together and separately. And like there's so many cool things that I'm just geeking out over our design and apparel stuff. I know you know I'm so hyped, and I keep talking about it. I just cannot wait to launch it with you, and it's going to be so fun. And one of the things I'm most excited about, if Parker hasn't even complimented me yet, but I got a haircut. I know he did too. I'm ready for our modeling gig. So if you go, we'll link to NUS website, wearenew.com, and we'll show you. But Balim did a killer job with some of her photography friends of like taking pictures of all the apparel. And so one of the stipulations we had to partner with her was that I wanted her to make Parker and I look like models. So that's on the agenda as well.
I would, so
I know, exactly. It's part of the partnership deal. So I'm very excited about that too. It's going to be fun.
Excited. It's going to be really fun. And it's actually exciting because, so I've always worked with like women entrepreneurs and like small businesses, but all my collaborations are mostly women. So this is when Alana reached out to me, she was like, they are so nice. I was like, are they assholes? Because this was like in my head. I was like, I'm just going to say no if I'm not going to like them. So she was like, no, like they're the nicest people. Like you're going to love them so much. So you should definitely, like, you know, I would tell you, or I would have never even texted you. And she was like, they're amazing. You would love them. And I was like, okay. And then we had a meeting and I texted her after that. I was like, they're so nice. Like, yeah, thank you so much for introducing us. But,
thank God you met me first before Parker. Otherwise, you probably would have said no.
What? All you do is like give people big hugs. You scare them away, dude. That's all I gotta say.
We met on Zoom, so I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I am pumped. I already have like some ideas for the photo shoot and everything. Okay. Like, oh man, just picture it right now. But I'm pumped. We need new hats. We need new shirts. We need new everything. Like, and I can't wait to like whip some new stuff up. Like our old stuff, we were like, yeah, it's so boring. It's basic. It's just a logo. Like Balim's gonna crush it. You're already putting together some awesome little styles, and we're gonna be like the cool kids. It's just gonna have Elevation Nation all over it, which I'm down for. That's where all the cool kids are at, I feel like, these days anyway, Sam, right? So at least I think so. All right, cool. So what is next, Balim, for the company? Like you said, you finish out the year, and then obviously we're doing some work together. You got other clients. Like where do you want to take this thing?
I want to take it international. So we actually just started selling like international and under Wolf and Badger. So that's exciting. But I want just like, I don't know, I want it to be so big. And I want to create like a community around it so we could do more events like pop-ups and stuff like that, because I love to see our customers and like meet people in real life. So I'm hoping to do that in the new year. And then I just want to grow with the brand. It's really exciting to be able to create new stuff. So I just want to add in things like let's say jewelry I love and it's Turkish artisans, I'm bringing it here. And then I kind of want to add some art pieces and stuff and start selling those because I had an art double major. So there's a lot of new things that I want to do. I don't have enough time in the day to figure them all out in one day or 1 week, but slowly we're going to grow and I'm excited for what's to come.
And we're excited for you. And now you're part of Elevation Nation, which means you've unlocked all of our network, which we have so many people we want to introduce you to who are also elevators doing amazing things in their community that I think can help you out. So we will make all those connections as well. I want to move on to our next section, Balim, which is what we call our rapid fire section. And so we didn't prep you for these. Sorry, but they're easy. So we're going to, first thing that comes to your mind, you're going to be fine. First answer. Let's hear it. All right. I'm going to start us off. What is, I don't know if you're going to be able to pick this actually. This might be like choosing a favorite child. What is the favorite item, the hottest item that you love right now that you're selling at New?
We have martini hoodie that I like.
Oh, I like those too.
It's
Those
just
are
like
fresh.
little martini.
Yeah.
So they're very comfy. They're like, I love hoodies,
Ooh.
especially during winter. And that was fun. Sorry. And then
No worries.
yeah, the martini is like so cute and it's minimalist and I like it.
This
Almost
is
as cute.
for men and women, right?
Yeah, everything is like mostly unisex.
Okay, cool. I'm like on this big martini kick, so I may have to go to the website right after this. Like big martini kick.
That's actually what I was talking about. Like that design, we have like a couple that are bestsellers, and I didn't come up with. Oh my god, can I open?
Yeah, go for it.
Just a second. Okay.
I've been drinking dirty gin martinis lately.
I love
And
dirty gin martinis.
they're so fucking good.
Sorry.
Get a Vesper.
Vespers are good.
Vespers are great.
Oh yeah. So the martini one, like my boyfriend was like, "This would be cool if you just did a martini," and I was like, "Okay, I'll design it." And then I designed it, and then we have another one that says Sunday Chinese with a little graphic on it, and like one of our friends was like, "You should make one that says Sunday Chinese." I would buy that, and I was like, "Okay," and I designed them, but like the ideas come from the community, which I like.
I love that.
It's so fun. We had so much fun brainstorming our ideas. Like, I can't wait to launch them to people because they're hilarious. Yeah. It's gonna be great.
Okay, my question is, I don't know if this is a rapid fire or not. If you had Sam, right? You got Sam right here. He thinks he's a fashionable guy. But like what are like some quick hits that a young adult guy could do to fix up their fashion?
Let me think about that. I like maybe this is so basic, but I don't know if I like the khaki pants. So maybe we get rid of those. And then
Okay.
I like the suede boots, like little boots. And then so those are always really cool. Or like literally just white sneakers that are not like New Balances to go out in.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't like dad shoes when you're going out. No. And then I like a good sweater for guys. Like a gray sweater. You can literally find it in Zara. Like they're cheap.
I've been very much focused on my fashion the past 3 or 4 months, upping my game, and Parker's made fun of me. Some of us are single, Parker, and we have to put in effort to what we wear, unlike you. But I recently
was
was
fashionable than you. Come
That
on,
is
man.
so not true. Balim, I'm going to send you a picture of
Sam's gonna send you a
Parker.
picture.
Yep. You know exactly
Of
what
what?
picture I'm going to send.
Which one is that?
All right. Here's the story. We were going out for sushi in New York City, and we all were dressed up pretty nice, looking good. Us
Oh
and
my
three
god,
of
that's a
our
nice shirt.
best
dude.
friends.
That's a
No, you look-
nice shirt.
you
No,
look horrible.
That was a
I can't
nice
wait.
shirt, and you are my friends, and you let me out in that. Like it was just wrinkled.
That's
Bob.
not
like,
good.
That was it. It was just wrinkled.
I got it.
Wrinkled.
I'll pull it up.
It was just
Too
wrinkled.
wrinkled.
It was a nice shirt, like a really
You
like.
should get a steamer.
I know. I need one. I can't believe I don't have. I have one, but
Look at how wrinkled Parker's
it was bad.
bottom
It was
of his
bad.
shirt is.
Oh yeah, that is wrinkled.
Oh, yeah. So Parker can talk all the
It's a
shit he
nice
wants.
shirt though.
Oh,
But-
it's a great shirt. And then Sam posted it on Instagram, and I was like, "Dog, like, okay, you're holding me accountable here. But I think this is making you look bad because you let me out in that.
Yeah.
I'm not your
Exactly.
mother.
Well,
You know how to dress yourself.
okay.
All right.
Clearly.
Fashion. Yeah, clearly not. All right. I don't live in New York anymore, but I know you're a New York girl now. What is your favorite restaurant lately in New York?
Oh, I went to let me think about this. Oh my God, why did you do that to me? Oh, I love Morandi. It's Italian. I actually was just there yesterday. I love it, and I was better because I went with my uncle, so he paid, so it was even better. But it's a really good Italian restaurant.
All right, Parker, next time we're in the city, man. That might be
It's in
where we
West
go.
Village.
Okay. Deal.
So many spots. It's almost hard to say. Like the nice restaurants are great. Like, but you only go like once or twice, right? But then you got the hole in the wall spots that you go a few times. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's the best spot in New York. You know, it's hard.
I like the hole in the wall ones, like the small
Yeah,
ones. They're so
me
cute
too.
and just easier to like have fun in, especially the BYOB ones.
All right, last rapid fire. Yeah, BYOB super clutch in New York because if you don't, your wallet is done. Okay. Last rapid fire. We ask every person who comes on Elevation Nation this question. It has talk about getting a damper on the wallet. I buy a book every time after this question because the question is, what is a book recommendation that you have for Elevation Nation? Or just something.
Well, I'm reading right now the Diana book, so I don't know if
Okay.
anyone would be interested in that. But I love reading like stuff about just famous people and like people who were, I don't know. I was reading the Elvis Presley, like Elvis's wife's book before this. I just like to know about their life, and I also kind of like conspiracy theories. I don't believe in them, but I like them. So I was reading now Diana's book, and I think it's really interesting if you are interested in the royal family history. Like it's whose book is it? Andrew
If
Morton.
Parker buys that one, I'm going to be shocked, but I appreciate the recommendation. There you go, Parker. That's an interesting autobiography to add to your list.
Do you guys watch The Crown? No.
I do not watch The Crown.
My girlfriend
unfortunately.
does.
Interested in history. Exactly. Maybe she will like it then. It's an interesting book.
I have my thoughts about the royal family, like, you know, and they're not positive. I just say that.
Same. That's
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
No, I think they should be abolished.
I think it's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
If you ask
I
me,
like reading
but
about Diana. So. Well, she.
So
Fair enough.
maybe you will like it, Parker. I don't
Maybe
know.
she was. Yeah, you never know what happened to her. So.
Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. All right. Our final question for you, Balim. This has been a pleasure. We ask everyone that comes on Elevation Nation this question, and you are prepped for this one, so do not worry. We want to know, what is your mental motto?
Okay, I have this. I actually wrote it down. Everything is possible. The impossible just takes more time. This is something that my uncle, I believe, said to me like years back when I was just getting into this. I'm like, I was just so tired of visa stuff, and I don't know. I've had moments in the last couple of years where I was like, oh my God, I don't want to, like, what am I doing with my life? But he used to send me these emails that had like sayings on them, and I was like, this is a good one. So I had it already, and I just read it sometimes when I need it.
That's a really cool saying. I like that a lot. I've never heard that one before, but I think, a lot of times we limit ourselves to what is easily achievable in the short term because we know, or we can clearly see the steps to get there, right? Because it's short, it's quick. You have to do these 3 things to achieve it. And I think sometimes we forget that if your bigger dreams have more steps in between, to your point, like that might seem impossible, but it just takes more time. It takes more coordination and a little bit more patience. And we both are building companies, and I think we have big dreams for both of our brands and where we take them. And it's not going to happen tomorrow for us, and it takes time, but it's not impossible.
And you just have to be patient, which
Exactly.
sometimes I'm not. So that's why I like to read this to myself every once in a while.
I love it. we all can work on our patience. So I think that's huge. Balim, I want to thank you for opening up, for giving us time, for being vulnerable with Elevation Nation, with Parker, myself, for being our latest member of the nation, and more importantly, our partner in crime when it comes to apparel. You're incredible, and your story is amazing, and we're so proud of you and are so excited to welcome you to Elevation Nation.
Thank you so much. This was great.
All right, Elevation Nation. Until next week, peace.